watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
Good evening, Southern Nevada. You're watching News 25 on KPVM Channel 25 and listening along on Ace Country Radio. My name is Romano Frediani, and tonight is Friday, May 12th. A local man is arrested after shooting and killing a dog. News 25 reporter David Preston has the story.
Nye County Sheriff deputies responded to a report of an injured dog. Upon their arrival to the location, deputies made contact with the owners of the dog. The owners stated to officers that they received a phone call from an unknown neighbor claiming that their dogs had been shot. When the owners of the dog responded to the neighbor's address, they discovered one of their dogs sitting by the front gate of the neighbor's residence, which was closed. The owners retrieved their dog and went back home, where they contacted 911. Officers noticed that the owner was grabbing onto a white dog and applying pressure to a gunshot wound to the dog's throat. The owners advised officers that they could not locate their second dog and believed it was still on the neighbor's property. Deputies then made contact with the neighbors, and in the process, they observed a significant amount of blood by the front gate. The neighbors reported to officers that the two dogs had arrived onto their property, acting aggressively. They stated that the two dogs were attempting to get into their chicken coop and were afraid they would get into the enclosure and kill their chickens. The woman neighbor stated that she and her husband attempted to scare the two dogs away but were unsuccessful. The woman then stated she and her husband allegedly went to their property's front gate and closed it to prevent the dogs from leaving their property. They said they made contact with NCSO dispatch to have animal control respond to the residents, but was told by NCSO that animal control was no longer working. The neighbors continued to add that the two dogs were still attempting to access their chicken coop, and added that one of the dogs began digging a hole to get into the enclosure but was not successful. The woman neighbor stated to officers that none of her chickens were injured. The neighbors then showed video evidence to the officers that they had previously recorded of the two dogs. According to the declaration of arrest, officers observed the two dogs attempting to access the chicken coop enclosure, but did not observe any vicious behavior in the video. One of the neighbors then stated to officers that they allegedly retrieved their .22 rifle and shot both dogs. The woman neighbor stated that both dogs had taken off. She said they located one of the deceased dogs and could not locate the second dog. The neighbors then placed the dead dog into their trash can next to the residence. The husband neighbor was later identified as David Hollis. Sheriff deputies took Hollis into custody and transported him to the Nye County Detention Center. David Hollis is being charged with unlawfully shooting and killing an animal and discharging a firearm where a person or persons might be endangered.
A local woman was arrested after speeding while under the influence of a controlled substance. David Preston has more.
On May 10th of this year, Nevada Highway Patrol State Trooper Bransky was conducting a stationary radar at the location of State Route 160 and Loop Road when he observed a red Honda passenger car traveling south on Highway 160 at a high rate of speed. Visually, Trooper Bransky estimated the speed to be 50 miles per hour in a posted 35 miles per hour zone, and then confirmed the vehicle was traveling at 52 miles per hour per radar. Trooper Bransky conducted a traffic stop and contacted the driver, identified as Maura Spencer, who advised that she was not aware that she was speeding. Trooper Bransky noticed that Miss Spencer was gumbling around, shaking and nervous when asked for her license, registration, and proof of insurance. Ms. Spencer showed that this was not consistent with a standard traffic stop. Trooper Bransky also observed the odor of marijuana coming from inside the vehicle, and when asked about marijuana, Ms. Spencer denied use or possession. Based on Trooper Bransky's training and experience as a drug recognition expert, he believed that Miss Spencer may be impaired and asked her to exit the vehicle. Ms. Spencer agreed to participate in the standardized field sobriety tests. After failing the tests, Ms. Spencer was arrested for driving while impaired. Spencer was transported to the Nye County Detention Center for evidentiary blood draw and booking.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Child abuse is an all too real phenomenon. News 25 caught up with Christy Mills at Nevada Outreach, who is the advocate supervisor and child and family advocate of No to Abuse.
So April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, so we always take it upon ourselves to do different activities throughout the month, whether it be wear blue to represent child abuse awareness, or we plant pinwheels. So we usually pick an activity that is community centered. So we picked the Easter event this year. We planted pinwheels to represent all of the children who have been abused, sexually abused in our county, and then also talked about a lot of the statistics of state versus county. So the biggest statistic that I always bring up is the fact that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 13 boys are sexually abused in their lifetime. That means under the age of 18, in some way, shape, or form, they have been sexually abused. 90% of those abusers is somebody that child knows and trusts. So those are the two big ones that I want to make sure that people are aware of. So we take it upon ourselves to bring that awareness to our community, let people know that it is happening here and that it's not just something that's happening in this world, but it could be your neighbor, it could be somebody that is going to the same school as your child, or unfortunately is closest to somebody you love. So we want to make sure that that is there and that people recognize the signs of child abuse, whether that be physical abuse, neglect, or sexual abuse. If you see something, say something. We want to make sure that we are giving people opportunities to report that abuse so that we can do something about it. We partner with the Nye County Sheriff's Office, with the Department of Child and Family Services, with the District Attorney's Office, and different agencies here to help create a team that is dedicated to finding justice for kids that have been abused. So we had our event during the Easter event on the day before Easter this year. And we handed out hundreds of pinwheels. So we plant blue pinwheels for child abuse awareness so that people can recognize the impact that it has on our own communities. To give you guys an idea of how bad it is, in 2022 we serviced 88 children, in 2021 76, and in 2020 121. So in the last 3 years we have served children in our own community that have been either sexually or physically abused. So I just want to make sure that people are aware of what we are facing so that we can all come together and do something about it. If you need help making a report, you can always call Nevada Outreach at 775-751-1118. Extension 110. My name is Christy Mills, and if you're at the point to where you want help making that report, I definitely am more than willing to help somebody walk through that process as well.
Well, Legacy Racing was in town yesterday and earlier this morning with a 2-day event scheduled, a race to Tonopah. The race started this morning. News 25 caught up with Donald Jackson of Legacy Racing to tell us more.
Hey everyone, welcome to Legacy Racing. We're out here in Pahrump getting ready for our Baja Nevada, which will take place Friday and Saturday. So Friday we're racing from Pahrump on up to Tonopah, have an overnight stay, and then we'll race from Tonopah back to Tonopah. Total of 611 miles this year. So kind of a unique format, 2 days of racing, but should be very exciting. Again, Legacy Racing, new company we started in 2020, and just trying to keep the legacy alive and bring events back to Southern Nevada and Central Nevada and have a good experience for also the locals and these racers out here to experience the beautiful state we live in. You know, Nevada's pretty amazing with all the country we have to explore, the different terrain and weather, all kinds of stuff that we had to deal with. So we're excited to be out here and it should be a great event.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Beloved local figure Ray Malo-Mielzynski, known as the Flagman, was laid to rest earlier today. Close friends and family were there to say goodbye.
Pahrump bids a heartfelt farewell to Ray Malinsky, also known as Flagman. He was laid to rest today in the Chief Tecopa Cemetery. Close friends and family gathered to honor his memory and to share their cherished recollections of a passionate, patriot, and selfless individual. Ray's presence, an iconic sight of him walking highways 372 and 160, will deeply be missed by the community. Pahrump remembers him as a beloved figure who left an indelible mark with his unwavering love for the community. Ray will always be remembered with fondness and gratitude.
He will be missed. Well, here's what's coming up this weekend on Classic Country Breakfast.
On the menu this week on Classic Country Breakfast on Ace Country Radio, I got the new Dolly Parton single from her forthcoming album Rockstar. It's a rock album, features John Fogerty, Sting, Stevie Nicks, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, and many more. The album drops November 17th. We'll hear the #1 song on this day in 1974, and we'll celebrate the life and music of Ricky Nelson. Born on May 8, 1940, his twin sons had a band in the early 90s called Nelson. Gunnar Nelson will be my guest this week to talk about Ricky and how him and his brother honor him. Coming up this Sunday morning at 8 on Classic Country Breakfast on Ace Country Radio.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, we are experiencing a beautiful spell of weather here in southern Nevada. John Kohler will be back with your weather report right after this.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios and worldwide on the local BTV app. The app I just can't stop talking about. You should really get it. It's great. 79 degrees out there in Fernley. Fallon saw 80 today. Very nice. Carson City at 77. Felt pretty good. In the cool spot, well, we're splitting it. It's Weather Twins and Tonopah and Goldfield at 75 degrees. Very nice weather a little north of us. 88 out in Beatty. 92 in Amargosa makes you the hot spot easily. 89 in Las Vegas makes you #2, and super great poolside. Out in Death Valley, you're up to your old tricks. Triple digits, 104 degrees. And here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look, 78 degrees. Not too shabby. 91 just a little bit earlier. Oh, it was a nice hot day. Northwesterly winds to 15 miles per hour. Kind of tempered that somewhat. The sun rose this morning at 5:40, and setting this evening, look forward to do its thing at 7:40. It's going to be clear skies tonight, so beautiful star watching, a low of 64. Great night to be outside and enjoying, the warm weather. Winds just 11 miles per hour. And as we head into the week, Saturday, look at this gorgeous day we have tomorrow. Sunshine, 14 mile per hour winds. We get a little bit of cloud cover the rest of the week. Temperatures up to the 92. Mid-90s is kind of the theme for the week. And winds under 10 miles per hour. A little bit of clouds to provide you some shade cover somewhat. That's going to be a great week. So hope you are looking forward to it, especially this weekend. I'm going to recommend Saturday as being especially kind to all of America. Look at this Saturday. Nice Saturday. All right. Back to that desk. Here's Romano.
Thank you, John. All right. Finally, a new poll gives fascinating insight into local students' views on a hot-button topic. A recent survey was taken at the students at Pahrump Valley High School about racism. And according to the student populace, 57% feel as if they have experienced racism here in Pahrump, while 47% feel as if they have not. 52% of the students polled said they had experienced racism in their school, while 47% said they had not. If you or someone you know has been subject to racism and they need encouragement speaking up, there are resources available. You can always call Safe Voice at 1-833-216-SAFE. That's 1-833-216-7233. Well, that about wraps it up from all of us here at KPVM News 25 and Ace Country Radio. We hope you have a fantastic weekend. Good night and God bless.